Hey guys, tonight we explore sleepwear design. Picture this, you're in ancient India, nestled in a peaceful, tranquil retreat, surrounded by the sounds of nature. You've just finished your evening meditation, and now it's time to rest. But rest isn't just about getting under the covers and sleeping, it's about aligning your body and mind with the natural rhythms around you. You slip into a robe, carefully designed not just for comfort, but to enhance the quality of your sleep and deepen your relaxation. This isn't just any robe, this is a carefully crafted garment, designed with the wisdom of centuries. And while you may think sleepwear is a modern luxury, it's actually been perfected by ancient yogis who understood the importance of sleep long before we did. You probably won't survive this, you'd be lucky to sleep in such a perfectly designed robe. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, drop your location and local time in the comments. I love knowing where you all are tuning in from. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The ancient Indian yogis didn't just use any old garments for sleep, they designed robes specifically tailored to enhance the quality of their rest and meditation. In a time when the body and mind were considered deeply connected, sleep was seen as not just a physical need, but a spiritual necessity. And because the body was viewed as a temple, it needed the right environment for rest and rejuvenation. The robes were made with specific materials and design features that helped to create a harmonious space for sleep, promoting relaxation, comfort, and energy flow. Historians still argue whether these robes were designed solely for sleep or if they had multiple purposes, including daily wear during meditation. Some believe that these robes were purely a sleep garment, carefully crafted to promote comfort and relaxation during the night. Others argue that their design was flexible enough to serve as everyday wear, allowing the yogis to maintain a state of comfort and mindfulness throughout the day, whether they were meditating, practicing yoga, or simply going about their routine. Either way, these robes were essential to maintaining the balance between physical relaxation and spiritual connection. As the night deepens and the temperature drops, you begin to realize how the ancient yogis understood the need for both comfort and function when it came to sleepwear. Their robes weren't just about warmth, they were about creating a perfect environment for the body and mind to rest. One of the key elements of these garments was the choice of materials, which were selected not just for their softness or practicality but for their spiritual significance. The fabrics used were often natural, cotton, silk, and wool, materials that are still prized today for their breathability and comfort. Imagine the soft, cool cotton against your skin as you slip into your robe. The fabric is lightweight, allowing your body to breathe, but warm enough to shield you from the night's chill. You feel a gentle relaxation settle over you as the fabric embraces your body, allowing you to rest fully without the heaviness of synthetic materials or thick, constricting garments. This simple act of slipping into a robe made from natural materials wasn't just about physical comfort, it was a way to align yourself with nature. The yogis understood that the body, like the mind, needed space to breathe and be free of any unnecessary weight or tension. Historians still argue whether the choice of fabric was simply about comfort or whether there was a deeper spiritual reason for the materials used. Some believe that the fabrics, like cotton and silk, were chosen for their lightness and connection to the elements, earth, air, and water. Others argue that the choice of fabric was rooted in Ayurveda, the ancient system of medicine and wellness, which emphasizes the balance of the three dashas, energies, in the body. Cotton, for example, was believed to balance the body's natural heat, while silk was thought to support inner calm and clarity. Whatever the reason, the materials used in these robes had a profound impact on how the body responded during sleep, allowing the yogis to rest and rejuvenate both physically and spiritually. The lightweight, breathable nature of the fabrics also allowed for more movement and comfort, an important consideration for yogis who practiced meditation and yoga even as they rested. These robes weren't restrictive, they were designed to flow with the body's natural movements, allowing the yogis to sleep or meditate without any distractions. The robes weren't just worn at night, they became part of the yogic lifestyle, enabling a seamless transition from physical activity to deep rest. The choice of materials ensured that the body remained at ease, whether it was time to sleep or to practice. In a way, the robes became part of the yogic ritual, assisting in the transition from the waking world to the world of sleep and meditation. The fabric, simple yet elegant, became a reminder that rest wasn't just about physical sleep, it was about spiritual alignment, a chance to quiet the mind, restore the body, and connect with the divine. Sleep in the robes was an act of mindfulness, an extension of the meditative practices that defined the yogic lifestyle. As you sink deeper into the calming atmosphere created by your robe, it becomes clear that the design of these garments wasn't just about sleep, it was about creating a space for complete relaxation and spiritual alignment. For the ancient Indian yogis, the act of sleeping was as sacred as the act of meditation or yoga itself. This meant that their sleepwear had to support not just the body but also the mind, allowing them to rest deeply and spiritually. But how did they achieve this balance? One of the key aspects was the fit and design of the robes, which were carefully tailored to enhance the natural flow of energy within the body. Picture yourself in a robe, its loose and flowing design enveloping you. Unlike tight-fitting garments that could restrict movement, these robes were designed to allow for freedom and comfort, making them ideal for both sleep and meditation. The robes weren't just worn for sleep, they were part of the yogic way of life, supporting both physical rest and spiritual rejuvenation. The loose, unrestricted design allowed the body to relax completely, letting the muscles unwind after a long day of physical activity or meditation. At the same time, the robe's flowing nature symbolized the free flow of energy throughout the body, which is essential for both physical health and spiritual well-being. Historians still argue whether the design of the robes was specifically intended to promote the free flow of energy, as yogic philosophy suggests, or if it was simply a practical design for comfort. Some believe that the loose fit was designed with specific energy flow in mind, aligning with the principles of Ayurveda and other spiritual practices. Others argue that the robes were primarily designed for comfort, with their loose fit simply being a result of the need for breathable, unrestricted sleepwear. Regardless of the intent, the design of the robes allowed for a more relaxed and mindful approach to sleep, which was integral to the yogic practice of self-awareness and energy balance. Beyond their practicality, the robes also had a profound effect on the yogi's mindset. As the yogis prepared to rest, the very act of donning their sleepwear was a ritual. It was a sign of transition, a way of marking the end of the day's activities and preparing the body and mind for rest. In a way, these robes were more than just garments, they were tools that helped yogis maintain their sense of balance and mindfulness. The simple act of putting on the robe signified a moment of intention, a reminder that sleep wasn't just an escape but an opportunity to connect with the deeper, spiritual aspects of life. By removing any physical restrictions, the robes allowed the yogis to sleep in a state of deep relaxation, preparing them not only for physical rest but also for a more spiritual form of rejuvenation. The robes became a vessel for both the body and the spirit, providing a bridge between the waking world and the meditative state they sought to maintain even in sleep. As the night deepens and the yogi prepares to rest, it's clear that their robes weren't just designed for comfort, they were integral to the very process of sleep itself. Sleep in ancient India wasn't just seen as a passive activity, it was an extension of the holistic approach to health and well-being that the yogis practiced. Their sleepwear was designed not only to promote physical relaxation but also to prepare the mind for the deeper states of consciousness that were sought through sleep and meditation. The robes became part of the process of moving from the active, conscious state of the day into the calm, restorative rest of the night. One of the unique features of these robes was their connection to the principles of Ayurveda. Ayurveda, the ancient system of medicine, emphasized the balance of the three dashas, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, or energies, within the body. The right balance was seen as essential for health, and this extended to every aspect of life, including sleep. The design and fabric of the robes were chosen specifically to align with these principles, ensuring that the wearer could rest in a way that harmonized the body's energies. For instance, the use of cotton and silk was thought to calm the mind and balance the body's internal heat, while the loose, comfortable fit ensured that the body could remain in a state of balance while resting. Imagine slipping into your robe, feeling the soft cotton against your skin as you prepare to sleep. The fabric is gentle, calming, and breathable, allowing you to relax deeply without the discomfort of tight clothing or rough fabric. As you lie down to rest, you feel the balance in your body and mind begin to settle. The robe, designed with both your physical comfort and spiritual alignment in mind, works to keep your energies in harmony, helping you to enter a state of deep relaxation and ultimately, sleep. The robe is more than just a garment, it's a facilitator of wellness, allowing the body to rest fully while supporting its natural energy flow. Historians still argue whether the design of these robes was purely functional or if there was a deeper spiritual reason behind every aspect of their creation. Some believe that the robes were intended to enhance the practice of yoga and meditation, supporting the body's connection to the earth and the divine. Others argue that the design was primarily for comfort, allowing the yogis to sleep peacefully without distractions. Either way, the robes were undeniably intertwined with the holistic approach to life that defined the yogic tradition. They were not just sleepwear, they were part of a larger system of wellness, designed to support the mind, body, and spirit. The robe's design also helped the yogis transition more smoothly into sleep. The soft, breathable fabric and loose fit allowed them to relax without restriction, helping them to maintain a mindful state even as they entered the sleep cycle. This connection to mindfulness during sleep was a cornerstone of the yogic practice. For the yogis, sleep wasn't just about shutting down for the night, it was a continuation of their spiritual journey, a time to rejuvenate and reconnect with the universe. The robe supported this process, offering more than just physical comfort, they helped foster a deeper connection to the self. As you lie in your robe, feeling the soft fabric envelop your body, you can't help but notice how everything from the materials to the design works in harmony with the natural rhythms of the body. The yogis understood the importance of sleep as an integral part of life, something far more complex than simply resting. Sleep was viewed as a sacred act, a time to rejuvenate the body, calm the mind, and connect to the spiritual essence that existed within all things. For them, the robes weren't just designed for warmth or comfort, they were intended to foster a deeper sense of peace and mindfulness during sleep. The robes, with their loose fit and gentle fabric, allowed the body to remain in a relaxed, comfortable position throughout the night. But the true brilliance of these sleepwear garments was in how they helped support the yogi's posture. The connection between sleep and posture was deeply ingrained in yogic philosophy, as proper posture during sleep was believed to be essential for maintaining a balanced flow of energy. The robes, in their design, were created to allow the yogis to rest in an ideal posture, one that promoted energy flow, reduced tension, and encouraged alignment between body and mind. This focus on sleep posture was essential to the yogis' philosophy of holistic well-being. Imagine you're lying down, your body fully aligned within your robe. The loose, flowing design of the garment allows you to sleep comfortably without worrying about stiffness or tension building in your muscles. Your arms and legs are free to rest naturally, without any pressure from tight clothing or heavy layers. You are not just asleep, you're fully relaxed, allowing your energy to flow naturally through your body. This focus on sleep posture and energy flow helped ensure that the body remained in harmony, even as the mind rested. The robes were designed to support this delicate balance. Historians still argue whether the yogic emphasis on sleep posture was truly as revolutionary as it seems, or whether these practices were simply an extension of their broader philosophy on health and wellness. Some scholars believe that the importance of posture during sleep was simply a natural extension of the yogic principles of alignment and balance, while others argue that the concept of sleep posture wasn't as integral to the practice as we might think. Regardless, the intention behind the design of these robes was clear. The yogis wanted to create an environment where rest could be fully restorative, not just physically, but spiritually as well. The robes weren't just sleepwear, they were part of a larger system of well-being that integrated both the body and mind. By ensuring that their posture during sleep was in alignment with their energy, the yogis created an environment in which rest could be a time of deep healing. The robes supported this process by providing the comfort and flexibility needed for a restful night. And through this practice, the yogis understood that the body's energy could be replenished and realigned while they slept, helping them to maintain their vitality and focus for the challenges of the next day. As the soft fabric of the robe continues to provide comfort, you notice how its design goes beyond just aiding sleep, it also symbolizes a deeper connection to the yogic principles of balance and tranquility. The robes were not just intended to help the yogis sleep better, they were also meant to foster a deeper sense of mindfulness, relaxation, and spiritual clarity. The robe's design was imbued with subtle, but important features that encouraged the wearer to relax completely, to surrender the weight of the day, and to prepare the mind for the deeper meditative states that were essential to their practice. One of the key features of the robes was their ability to ease the transition between activity and rest. The process of undressing and slipping into these robes was a ritual in itself, designed to help the yogi leave the concerns of the day behind. The robes, in their simplicity and flow, were a symbol of the transition from the outer world to the inner world, from the active state of consciousness to the restful, meditative state of sleep. This transition was crucial for the yogis, as sleep wasn't merely about rest, it was about entering a state where the body could heal, where the mind could process the day's experiences, and where the spirit could reconnect with the greater cosmos. Imagine slipping out of your day's clothing, taking a deep breath, and pulling on the robe. As you tie the simple cord around your waist, you immediately feel a sense of calm wash over you. The robe doesn't just serve a functional purpose, it serves as a symbol of your intention to rest, to rejuvenate, and to allow your mind and body to enter a state of balance. The robe, in its simple elegance, creates a space for you to leave the stresses of the day behind and prepare yourself for a restful night that isn't just about sleep, it's about spiritual renewal. In a world that often feels overwhelming, this simple ritual is a gentle reminder to take a step back, to slow down, and to focus on your well-being. Historians still argue whether this intentional transition between activity and sleep was a widespread practice among all yogis, or if it was more of a personal ritual. Some suggest that this process of changing into specific sleepwear was part of a larger cultural approach to mindfulness and well-being, while others argue that it was a more individualized practice that varied between practitioners. Regardless, it's clear that for the yogis, the act of preparing for sleep was as important as the sleep itself. It wasn't just about comfort, it was about spiritual alignment, creating a peaceful space for rest, and maintaining a sense of mindfulness even as they slept. The robes also helped reinforce the concept of simplicity, which was a core value in the yogic lifestyle. The materials were natural, the design was minimal, and there were no frills or distractions. This simplicity allowed the yogis to focus on the present moment, stripping away the unnecessary layers of life to create a more focused, peaceful environment. The robe was a symbol of this simplicity, a way to shed the complexities of the day and prepare for a deep, restorative sleep. It's a reminder that true relaxation doesn't come from indulgence, but from the ability to find peace in simplicity. As you slip further into the comfortable folds of the robe, it becomes clear that the yogis designed their sleepwear not only to promote relaxation but also to cultivate inner peace and spiritual balance. Their robes were more than just practical garments, they were an embodiment of their philosophy. Every detail, from the choice of fabric to the design of the robe, was carefully thought out to support a state of mindfulness and awareness. These robes were meant to enhance sleep by promoting a quiet mind and a calm body, allowing the yogi to enter deep sleep, and perhaps more importantly, a deep state of relaxation and spiritual renewal. One key element of the robe's design was its loose fit. The yogis understood that constricting clothing or tight fabrics could create unnecessary tension in the body, impeding relaxation and energy flow. The robes, therefore, were designed with a relaxed, flowing fit that allowed the body to rest naturally without interference. This unrestricted design was crucial not only for sleep but also for meditation, where physical comfort was key to a focused and clear mind. The loose fit of the robes allowed the body to relax fully, helping the yogi achieve a sense of freedom from physical constraints. It was an embodiment of the yogic principle of letting go of tension, letting go of worldly concerns, and allowing the mind and body to be free. Imagine yourself lying back, the robe flowing around you, no tightness or discomfort restricting your movements. The robe is a perfect fit for both body and spirit, just snug enough to provide warmth and comfort, but loose enough to allow your energy to flow freely. It's as if the robe itself becomes an extension of your meditation practice, a reminder that relaxation is not just a physical act but a mental one. You are free to rest, to let go, and to connect with your deepest self. The robe, as simple as it may seem, is the key to this sacred state of relaxation. Historians still debate whether the looseness of the robes was solely for comfort, or whether it had deeper spiritual implications. Some believe that the loose fit symbolized the yogis' detachment from material concerns, allowing them to be free from the bindings of the physical world. Others argue that it was purely practical, designed to ensure that the body could breathe and remain comfortable during long periods of rest and meditation. Whatever the intent, the loose design of the robes undoubtedly played a role in facilitating relaxation and comfort, creating an environment where the body and mind could rest in harmony. Beyond the physical comfort, the design of the robes also aligned with the yogic understanding of energy balance. The robe's free-flowing nature allowed for better circulation and the free movement of prana, the life force energy that yogis believe flows through the body. In this way, the robes weren't just sleepwear, they were tools to facilitate the harmonious flow of energy, ensuring that the body and mind were in a state of perfect balance. This connection to prana is deeply embedded in the yogic tradition, where the cultivation of energy flow is as important as the practice of physical postures or meditation. As you rest deeper in the robe, feeling its comforting embrace, the ancient yogis' deep understanding of sleep and relaxation becomes even clearer. Their robes weren't just about comfort or practicality, they were designed with an innate knowledge of the body's needs for both physical and spiritual rejuvenation. These garments were also created with an awareness of the energies in the body, and how the right sleep environment could promote a balanced flow of that energy. Sleep wasn't merely about shutting off, it was about restoring balance, realigning the body's energy, and enabling the yogi to approach the next day with vitality and clarity. One fascinating feature of these robes was how they incorporated certain elements of nature, like the energy of the earth itself, into the design. The robes weren't just made of any fabric, they were woven from natural, unbleached fibers like cotton, and sometimes even silk, which were believed to have special properties that helped maintain an energetic connection between the body and the earth. These fibers were chosen for their softness and ability to breathe, allowing the body to remain cool in warm weather and warm in cool weather. This natural balance helped regulate the body's temperature, which is essential for deep, restful sleep. Now, imagine lying in your robe, the soft cotton hugging your skin. The breathable nature of the fabric keeps you perfectly comfortable, and your body naturally adjusts to the ambient temperature. The robe feels like an extension of the earth itself, designed to help you align with the natural rhythms of the world. The fabric, though simple, offers a subtle support that allows your body to relax and your energy to flow freely, unimpeded by the constraints of synthetic materials or artificial fabrics. The robe's connection to nature was not just symbolic, it was physical, helping to cultivate a sense of groundedness and peace. Historians still argue whether the materials used in the robes were consciously selected to enhance energy flow, or if they were simply chosen for their comfort and practicality. Some believe that the natural fibers were an essential part of the yogic philosophy, grounding the body and encouraging a deeper connection with the earth. Others suggest that the natural fabrics were selected purely for their comfort, without any deeper metaphysical meaning. Either way, it's clear that the robes were more than just garments, they were a tool, consciously designed to support the yogic practice of balancing body, mind, and energy. Beyond the material itself, the robes also provided protection. They were designed not just for comfort, but to shield the yogis from external distractions. In the stillness of the night, the simple act of wearing the robe created a quiet, protective cocoon around the yogi, helping them block out the distractions of the outside world and focus inward. The robe provided a physical boundary, allowing the mind to remain undisturbed as it slipped into a deep, restorative state of sleep. In a sense, the robe was more than a tool for sleep, it was a shield for the spirit, a barrier that allowed the yogi to retreat into a place of deep peace and calm, shielded from the noise of the world. As the night settles and the robe gently wraps around you, you begin to realize that the ancient yogis' approach to sleep wasn't solely about physical comfort, it was also a deeply meditative practice. The robes were designed not just for rest but as an aid to the transition between the waking world and the meditative states that were so central to their spiritual practices. The very act of donning the robe was part of the ritual, preparing the yogi to enter a state of deep meditation or restorative sleep. It wasn't just the clothing that facilitated rest, it was the ritual itself, a conscious act that created space for the mind and body to relax and recalibrate. Imagine slipping into your robe at the end of the day, the sensation of the soft fabric against your skin already beginning to signal your body that it's time to unwind. The robe serves as a kind of threshold, a physical marker between the demands of the day and the stillness of sleep. It's not just clothing, it's part of the ritual of transitioning into a space of peace and mindfulness. For the yogis, this ritual helped them to shift from external concerns to an internal focus, preparing the mind for rest and reflection. Historians still debate whether these sleep rituals were as universally practiced as we think. Some argue that the robe, as a symbol of the transition to a restful state, was an essential element in the yogic lifestyle, while others believe that the focus on sleep rituals may have varied widely between practitioners. Some yogis may have treated sleep as an extension of meditation, while others may have approached it more pragmatically, using their robes for comfort rather than as part of a larger ritualistic practice. Whatever the case, the importance of creating a deliberate transition into sleep is clear. The robes, though simple, helped promote this intentional shift in mindset. With every fold of the fabric and every adjustment of the robe, the yogi's body and mind were reminded that it was time to let go of the day's burdens and enter into a sacred space. Sleep was no longer just about unconscious rest, it became part of a larger practice of mindfulness, one that integrated both the body and spirit. The robe was an essential tool in this process, helping the yogi to align both physically and mentally for the coming night. Imagine how, after a long day of practice, you settle into the stillness, the soft weight of the robe acting as a gentle reminder to turn inward. The robe is there to comfort you, to shield you from the outside world, and to help guide your mind into a state of deep relaxation. This is not just a time for sleep, it's a time for reflection, for connecting with the universe in the most profound way possible. The robe is a vessel for this sacred transition, helping to prepare the yogi for the stillness and clarity they sought through their sleep and meditation practices. As you lie there, enveloped in the robe, it becomes clear that the yogi's understanding of sleep went beyond simply resting, it was about reaching a state of deep harmony with the world around them. They believed that sleep wasn't just a necessary break from the day but a crucial part of their spiritual journey. The robes, then, weren't merely for comfort, they were symbolic, designed to support the yogi's connection with the divine. The act of sleeping, or even preparing to sleep, was treated as a sacred time, a time to be intentional about the alignment of body, mind, and spirit. The robe's connection to spirituality was evident in the way they were woven with the intention of promoting peace and clarity. The simplicity of the design mirrored the yogi's philosophy of non-attachment and mindfulness. By wearing a robe so simple yet so effective, they were reminded that true peace lies in the absence of excess. There were no frills, no adornments, only the smooth, flowing fabric that encouraged stillness and ease. This simplicity was an essential element of the yogic approach to sleep. The less distraction there was, the more the yogi could attune to the deeper, quieter layers of consciousness. Imagine, as you close your eyes, that you are slowly sinking into the stillness of the night. The robe gently wraps around you, its natural fabric a reminder of your alignment with the earth and the universe. You begin to relax, not just physically, but spiritually, as your breath slows and your body unwinds. The robe encourages you to let go of the day's worries, to release any tension, and to simply be. The connection between the robe and the peaceful state of sleep becomes more apparent. This is not just about comfort, it's about setting the intention for a restful night that will carry the yogi deeper into mindfulness, clarity, and connection with the divine. Historians still argue whether the spiritual significance of the robes was the same for every yogi, or if their importance varied from practitioner to practitioner. Some believe that the robes were seen as essential tools for achieving a higher state of consciousness during sleep, while others suggest that the robes were simply an outward expression of the yogic lifestyle, with their main purpose being comfort and simplicity. Regardless of the interpretation, it is clear that these robes were never just about physical sleep, they were an integral part of a larger spiritual practice. As you rest in the robe, you are reminded that sleep is not a passive experience. It is a time for active restoration, for realignment with the natural world, and for a deeper connection to the self. The yogis didn't just sleep to rest their bodies, they slept to renew their spirits, to reconnect with the cosmos, and to align themselves with the sacred rhythm of life. In this space, surrounded by the gentle embrace of the robe, you are prepared to enter the deepest state of rest, rejuvenated not just physically, but spiritually, ready for the day ahead. As the robe continues to envelop you in its soft embrace, you can sense how deeply the yogis' sleep practices were intertwined with their larger philosophy of life. These robes weren't merely garments, but part of an entire ecosystem of well-being. The act of donning the robe wasn't just a way of preparing for sleep, it was a moment to signal to the body, mind, and spirit that it was time to enter a space of mindfulness and renewal. Every detail of the robe was designed with this intention, from its simplicity to its comfort to its connection to the yogic principles of peace and balance. The robes were crafted with the idea of nurturing not only physical comfort but also the inner state of peace necessary for rest. The soft, breathable fabric, like cotton or silk, was carefully chosen not just for comfort but for its calming properties. The robe's lightness helped avoid any restriction, encouraging complete relaxation. The flowing design of the robe, free from tightness or friction, was meant to facilitate a deep meditative state even while sleeping, allowing the body to rest while the mind entered a peaceful state of stillness. The very act of slipping into the robe was an entry into a sacred space, a space where the yogi could prepare to align themselves with their higher consciousness. Imagine the calming, almost ritualistic act of tying the simple cord of the robe around your waist. The ritual of dressing for sleep, much like the rituals of meditation, marked the beginning of a sacred time for rest. This simple action helped prepare the mind to relax, release the clutter of the day, and enter a state of peace. In a world that often feels rushed and overwhelming, the yogis understood the importance of these quiet transitions, moments of stillness that invite the mind to slow down and focus on what is truly important. Historians still debate whether the robes were truly designed with these spiritual purposes in mind, or whether their function was more practical. Some argue that the simplicity of the robes was a natural extension of the yogic philosophy of non-attachment, serving as a visual and tactile reminder of the need to live simply and harmoniously with nature. Others believe that while the robes were practical, they became symbolic over time, representing the deeper spiritual connection between the body and the earth, as well as the commitment to mindfulness. What is clear, however, is that the robes were not just pieces of clothing, they were tools for promoting rest, meditation, and spiritual alignment. The connection between the robe and spiritual practice didn't end when the yogi fell asleep. Even as they slept, the robes continued to work on a subtle level, maintaining the balance of the yogic energies. The robes helped preserve the integrity of the body's natural rhythms, promoting energy flow even in rest. For the yogis, sleep wasn't just a time to stop, it was a time to recharge, to deepen their connection to their practice, and to prepare their body and mind for the work ahead. The robes, then, were not simply for sleep, they were for awakening. Awaken to the body's needs, to the mind's focus, and to the spirit's connection to the universe. As you feel the robe gently settle around you, it becomes clear that the sleeping practices of ancient yogis weren't just about finding comfort or ensuring a good night's rest. They were part of a holistic approach to health and well-being that emphasized balance in every aspect of life, including sleep. These robes, as simple as they were designed not just to provide warmth, but to create an environment that was conducive to the yogi's spiritual and physical rejuvenation. Every detail, from the natural materials to the loose, flowing fit, was intentional, with the goal of allowing the body to relax and the mind to enter a deeper, more meditative state. But what's truly fascinating is how these robes worked in harmony with the yogi's sleep cycles. Unlike the rigid schedules and hurried lives that we often experience today, the yogis viewed sleep as an integral part of their spiritual practice. It wasn't just about shutting off for a few hours, it was about allowing the body and mind to synchronize with the natural world, to release any tension, and to prepare for the work of the next day. The robes, in all their simplicity, became a tool for achieving this balance. They helped create an environment where sleep was not just about rest, but about deep spiritual renewal. Imagine lying down, your body fully relaxed in the robe, every layer of clothing designed to promote deep sleep and energy flow. The soft fabric, the loose fit, and the natural materials all work together to create a cocoon of calm and comfort. As you begin to drift into sleep, you are not just resting your body, you are aligning with the rhythms of the universe. The robe is more than just a garment, it is a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds, guiding you from wakefulness to rest and from rest to a new day of vitality. Historians still debate whether the design of these robes was purely functional or whether it had a deeper spiritual significance. Some believe the robes were designed with the sole purpose of comfort and relaxation, while others argue that they were an essential part of a yogic philosophy that intertwined the physical, mental, and spiritual realms. What is clear, however, is that these robes were not merely about sleep, they were about creating a space for the body to rest, the mind to relax, and the spirit to connect. They were tools for mindfulness, facilitating the transition from one state of consciousness to another. In today's world, we often take our sleepwear for granted. We throw on whatever is comfortable, without considering its impact on our rest or our energy. But the yogis of ancient India understood the importance of sleep in a way that went far beyond the physical act of resting. For them, sleep was a continuation of their spiritual practice, a time to recharge and realign with the universe. And the robes, simple as they may have seemed, were an essential part of that process. As you rest peacefully, wrapped in the robes, you can sense the profound wisdom behind the design. These robes weren't just about comfort, they were integral to the yogi's lifestyle, designed to enhance their spiritual practice through sleep and meditation. The garments provided the perfect environment to align the body, mind, and spirit, but one feature of the robes that truly set them apart was their emphasis on energy flow. The yogis believed in the importance of prana, the life force energy that flows through the body. The robes weren't just about maintaining body warmth or comfort, they were designed to help facilitate the free movement of prana, ensuring that the energy within the body could flow uninterrupted during rest. Imagine the robe's soft fabric moving with your body as you shift in your sleep, allowing your breath to move freely, your energy to flow naturally. The fabric's loose design and natural fibers ensured that the body could rest in a way that didn't obstruct energy pathways. In many ways, these robes were a physical manifestation of the yogic principles of non-resistance and flow. They encouraged a state of relaxation that was conducive not just to rest but to spiritual connection. The robe helped align the body's energy, giving the yogi a deeper, more rejuvenating sleep, allowing them to wake up with a renewed sense of balance and peace. Historians still argue whether the design of these robes was consciously created to facilitate energy flow or if they were more practical in nature. Some suggest that the robes were intended to support the yogi's deeper meditation practices by creating a physical environment that allowed the body to align with its natural rhythms. Others contend that the robes were simply comfortable, and any connection to energy flow was a secondary, incidental benefit. Regardless of the original intent, it's clear that the robes provided much more than warmth and comfort, they allowed the wearer to cultivate the energy flow necessary for a deeper connection to both their body and their spiritual practices. The connection between sleep and energy flow is crucial in the yogic tradition. For the yogis, sleep wasn't a passive activity, it was an active form of meditation, a way to restore and realign their body's energies. The robes, in their simple design, became a crucial tool in this process, allowing the yogis to remain mindful even in sleep. The robes worked in tandem with the yogis' meditative practices, providing them with a physical reminder of their spiritual focus. Whether during the stillness of sleep or the movement of meditation, the robes supported the seamless transition between physical relaxation and spiritual awareness. Beyond their design and function, these robes also embodied the yogic ideals of simplicity and mindfulness. The robes were intentionally stripped of any excessive adornments, making them a reflection of the yogi's belief in living simply and mindfully. In a world full of distractions, the robe was a symbol of the importance of focusing on what truly mattered: physical comfort, spiritual connection, and inner peace. By wearing a robe that helped align the body, mind, and energy, the yogis maintained their deep connection to their practice, ensuring that sleep was just as sacred as waking life. As you lie back and let the peaceful fabric of the robe cradle you, you begin to understand the holistic approach to sleep that the yogis developed. Their robes were not mere garments, they were carefully crafted tools designed to enhance the entire sleep experience. The practice of sleep itself wasn't separated from their spiritual journey, it was intrinsically linked to it. The robes helped ensure that every moment of rest was a time for spiritual renewal, allowing the yogis to carry their mindfulness into the deepest states of relaxation and rejuvenation. In fact, their sleep rituals went hand in hand with their meditation and yoga practices, creating an unbroken thread of awareness and connection, even during sleep. Beyond comfort and energy flow, there was another layer to the robes, their impact on the mind. The robes, with their simplicity and natural materials, were designed to ease the mind into a calm, centered state. The yogis believed that external distractions, such as tight clothing or the wrong fabric, could disrupt the mind's ability to focus or relax. By wearing a robe that was aligned with the principles of comfort, natural materials, and simplicity, the yogis set themselves up for a night of rest that wasn't just physical, it was a mental and spiritual reprieve as well. The robe was a constant reminder to let go of the outside world and enter a space of peace, calm, and reflection. Imagine, once again, wrapping yourself in the soft embrace of this robe, feeling the gentle fabric against your skin. The physical comfort is immediate, but there's something deeper, a sense of quietude that washes over you. The robe, in its simplicity, removes distractions, clears the mind, and prepares the body to fully rest and restore. You're not just shedding the weight of your clothing, you're shedding the weight of your thoughts, anxieties, and stressors. The robe serves as a reminder that rest is not merely about physical recuperation, it's a sacred process of spiritual renewal. Historians still debate whether the robe's calming effects were universally recognized as a key to the yogic sleep ritual. Some argue that the robes were simply comfortable sleepwear designed to encourage physical rest. Others believe that the very design of the robes was part of a larger spiritual practice, one that encouraged relaxation and connection through the very act of dressing for sleep. Whatever the case, it's clear that these robes were not just garments, they were part of an intricate, mindful system of well-being, carefully designed to nurture the body and mind, ensuring the yogi's sleep was just as restorative spiritually as it was physically. Sleep for the yogis wasn't a passive retreat from the world, it was an active practice, a continuation of their meditation and yoga philosophy. As you rest in your robe, you begin to see how this approach transforms the simple act of sleeping into something much deeper. The robe isn't just about getting rest, it's about being present, even in sleep. This mindfulness extends beyond waking hours and seeps into the quiet of the night, creating a full circle of connection, awareness, and balance. As you continue to sink deeper into the comfort of your robe, it becomes increasingly clear that the ancient yogis' approach to sleep was far from a simple act of rest. Their robes weren't just tools for physical comfort, they were integral to their overall philosophy of balance and spiritual harmony. The robes helped facilitate a deeper connection to the self, the universe, and the divine. Sleep, for the yogis, was not merely a time to rest the body, it was a sacred practice, one that nourished the soul and allowed for a deeper connection to the higher self. In this way, the robes served as a bridge, connecting the yogis' waking life with their spiritual journey. Imagine that you're lying there, wrapped in the robe, feeling the softness of the natural fibers against your skin. The robe's design allows you to rest with minimal distractions, enabling you to slip into a state of profound relaxation and mindfulness. As you breathe deeply, you realize that this is not just about getting a good night's sleep, it's about aligning your energy, your body, and your spirit. The robe is there to support this alignment, acting as a subtle guide to help you transition from the hustle of the day into a restful, rejuvenating state. Every aspect of the robe, from the material to the cut, is designed to assist you in entering the deeper states of consciousness necessary for true rest. Historians still debate whether the yogis viewed their sleepwear as essential tools for spiritual practice or simply as practical garments for physical comfort. Some argue that the robes were a significant part of their holistic health approach, helping them achieve mental clarity and emotional balance during sleep. Others believe the robes were simply functional, designed to ensure that the body could rest in the most comfortable way possible. Regardless of the specific purpose, it's undeniable that the robes played a pivotal role in the yogis' daily routines, helping to support their mental and spiritual well-being. As you slip deeper into your own restful sleep, it's clear that this approach to sleep, to rest, and to mindfulness, is one we can still learn from today. The yogis knew that sleep wasn't just a passive state of unconsciousness, it was an opportunity to restore balance, recharge, and connect with the deeper aspects of the self. By focusing on simplicity, comfort, and the alignment of energy, the yogis crafted robes that became instruments for spiritual and physical rejuvenation. The robes helped them to shed the distractions of the external world, allowing them to enter a deeper state of awareness that extended well beyond sleep. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to forget that sleep is not just a time for physical rest, it is a time for mental and spiritual renewal. The yogis understood that a good night's rest was essential for maintaining balance and well-being, and their robes reflected that understanding. As you rest in your own bed tonight, take a moment to consider the deeper aspects of sleep. Just like the ancient yogis, you can embrace the quiet, restful moments as a time for spiritual connection and renewal. Sleep, after all, is just as much about the mind as it is about the body, and it holds the potential to restore and rejuvenate us on all levels.